For more than 25 years, the smartest 30 minutes on television. From the campus of Wake Tech, get your crania in gear. It's time to play Brain Game.
Welcome to the Brain Game Playoffs. The road to the championship is set. Competing today are Research Triangle High School and East Chapel Hill High School. Well, hello and welcome to Brain Game, everyone. I'm your host, Mark Roberts. Thank you so much for joining us here at Wake Tech Scott, Northern Wake Campus. Let's meet these players and get this game started, shall we? First of all, from East Chapel Hill High School, we have Liam, Sanjay, and Max. That is East Chapel Hill High School, everybody. And from Research Triangle High in Durham, we have Tanishka, Audrey, and Emily. That is Research Triangle, everyone. All right. Remember, in Brain Game, each team gets first crack at 3 questions in each category. Get it right, we give you 20. Get it wrong, we take 20 away. If a team can't answer a question, they can pass. So everyone should always be ready with an answer. Let's get this Brain Game playoff matchup underway. In today's pop-up culture, we're testing our players' knowledge of the radio. Even if you're not a student of fine-tuned broadcasting, each question is packed with clues. So listen for the phrase that pays, and you can earn 20 points. Let's kick off Pop-Up Culture Radio with East Chapel Hill. This title for a radio host and club figure comes from their job of playing records for the radio audience.
DJ? Our answer is DJ.
DJ is correct. Question 2 in Pop-Up Culture for East Chapel Hill. What entity refuses corporate funding and often broadcasts classical music and news programs? WUNC is an example of this.
Do you know this? Pass.
That goes over to Research Triangle if you want to try.
Our team's answer is pass.
The answer there is public radio. David Crabtree running WUNC there. And last question in this category for East Chapel Hill. Between 6 and 10 a.m. or 3 and 7 p.m. are usually the periods given what 2-word designation, meaning people will be listening in their cars?
Rush hour. Our answer is rush hour.
That is incorrect. Research Triangle, do you want to try?
Our team's answer is pass.
Drive time. I'm the drive time disc jockey. That used to be something impressive. All right. Very impressive, sir. Let's move along now. Do Pop-Up Culture Radio with Research Triangle. Local stations are terrestrial, while Sirius XM is known as what type of radio, describing how it is broadcast?
Our team's answer is pass.
Over to East Chapel Hill.
Our team's answer is satellite.
Satellite is, Sirius XM is a satellite station. Yes, that's right. Now we're back with Research Triangle. It features no static at all, even if you're listening to funky reggae. What is this broadcasting spectrum where you find most radio stations today?
Our team's answer is FM.
FM is correct. And last question in this category for Research Triangle. Rush Limbaugh and Howard Stern are examples of this 2-word rhyming term for a radio host who attracts listeners by being controversial.
Our team's answer is pass.
Over to East Chapel Hill.
Our team's answer is pass.
Shock jock. Howard Stern is a shock jock. Well, Baba Booey, let's turn the dial now to current events, if that makes sense. In our next category, thank you, audience. In our next category, headliners, you'll work together to answer questions about local and global events. Each team will begin with a visual clue, so ears open and eyes on the screen, players. Here's the first question for East Chapel Hill. This is a picture of Rosario Murillo. Since late January, she and her husband, Daniel Ortega, have been co-presidents of what country?
Our team's answer is Nicaragua.
That is the right country. Sticking with East Chapel Hill, because of the news of DeepSeek, a less expensive competitor of OpenAI's ChatGPT, what U.S. chip giant lost over $500 billion in stock value?
Our team's answer is NVIDIA.
That is correct. And last headliners for East Chapel Hill. In preparation for several new tariffs, President Trump proposed what agency that will be diametrically the opposite of the IRS?
Doge. Our team's answer is Doge.
That is incorrect. Research Triangle, you want to try that one?
Our team's answer is pass.
That is the external revenue service instead of internal. All right. Now we're doing headliners with Research Triangle. In January, Alexander Lukashenko was reelected to his 7th term as president of what Russian ally?
Our team's answer is pass.
That goes to East Chapel Hill.
Our team's answer is Belarus.
Belarus is the right country. Now we're back with Research Triangle. In response to a possible ban, many American users started using what app called Shohangshu in Mandarin?
Our team's answer is Red Note.
Red Note is right. And last headliners for Research Triangle. In February, Vice President Vance visited what Ohio town on the 2nd anniversary of a devastating train derailment?
Our team's answer is pass.
Over to East Chapel Hill.
Our team's answer is East Palestine.
That is correct. East Palestine, yeah, you got it there. Within 5,100 miles, Ohio has the 3rd most railroad miles in the nation. North Carolina is 18th. All total there are more than 140,000 miles of rail running across America, which is our next stop on Brain Game. Players, today we're testing your knowledge of Washington State, not the district. Be sure to work together to earn points on your collective knowledge of the Evergreen State. And we begin Washington State across America with East Chapel Hill. Zeus does not live there, but Kurt Cobain once did. What is the capital city of Washington?
Our team's answer is Olympia.
Olympia is right. Question 2 and across America for East Chapel Hill. Its native name is Walch. What is this body of water south of the Strait of Juan de Fuca, named for an officer in the Royal Navy and not a type of music?
Not a type of music. Oh, do we know? Okay. Our team's answer is pass.
Over to Research Triangle, if you would like to try.
Our team's answer is pass.
Answer there is Puget Sound. And last across America for East Chapel Hill, host of the 1974 World's Fair and the home of Gonzaga University, what is Eastern Washington's largest city?
Our team's answer is Spokane.
That is right. And well, Spokane, you are right there. Yes. Now we're doing Research Triangle across America, Washington State, host of the 1962 World's Fair and home of the Space Needle. What is Washington's largest city?
Our team's answer is Seattle.
Seattle is right. Question 2 and across America for Research Triangle. Washington has several active volcanoes. Which mountain's eruption in 1980 is the most recent?
Our team's answer is pass.
Over to East Chapel Hill.
St. Helens or St. Our team's answer is Mount St. Helens.
That is correct. And back to Research Triangle for their last across America. Located on Washington's southern border, what city is named for a British sea captain? A Canadian city 300 miles north shares its name.
Our team's answer is pass.
That goes to East Chapel Hill.
Our team's answer is Vancouver.
Vancouver is the right place. Well, players, we've hit our first break now, and we've got more points up for grab with word power and arts and literature. Brain Game will be right back, everyone. Welcome back to Brain Game, everyone. After that first round of play, we have East Chapel Hill on the board with 160 and Research Triangle is in there at 60. It's time to find out how well our players can do now filling in the blanks. In today's Word Power, we're asking questions about the 2024 Words of the Year. These words were recognized by various outlets as the words that left a lasting mark on 2024. I'm hoping to be a lasting mark one day myself, but anyway. Okay, all right, let's start with East Chapel Hill, Words of the Year 2024. Collins Dictionary chose what 4-letter word, which appeared on a bright green background when tweeted to describe Kamala Harris by Charlie XCX.
Our team's answer is brat.
That is correct. Question 2 in Word Power for East Chapel Hill. Cambridge chose this 8-letter word that names a cargo list, but also a way to imagine something you want.
Desire. Is that? I think so. Our team's answer is manifest.
That is right. And last Word Power for East Chapel Hill. Because of the 2024 total solar eclipse, what 8-letter word was second on Merriam-Webster's Word of the Year list? It is the whole of something or the moment of complete covering.
right. Our team's answer is pass.
That goes over to Research Triangle if you would like to try.
Our team's answer is pass.
Totality, the word that we were seeking. All right, now we're trying words of the year with Research Triangle. Dictionary.com chose this 6-letter word, meaning reserved or modest, but was paired with mindful in a viral TikTok.
Our team's answer is demure.
That is right. Question 2 in word power for Research Triangle. Oxford University Press named this 2-word term that describes low-quality internet content or the effects of viewing it.
Our team's answer is brain rot.
That is correct. I've been accused of that. And last one in word power for Research Triangle. Because of its overuse by ChatGPT, what 8-letter verb was 6th on Merriam-Webster's Word of the Year list? It can mean to reverberate with sound or to produce a feeling of shared belief or emotion.
Our team's answer is pass.
That goes over to East Chapel Hill.
I saw an article about that.
Need something over there, you guys.
Pass.
Resonate, the answer we're looking for. But, well, very demure answering those questions, very mindful, very elegant. To quote the great Jules LeBron, Jules would love this next category, arts and literature. Players, anything you've learned about paintings, music, literature, theater, and more could appear in this category. You want to work together, figuring out an answer. Each team begins with a visual clue. And we start arts and lit with East Chapel Hill. This saint is said to have painted the first icon shown in this image, author of a gospel and patron saint of physicians. Who is he?
There's like, what, 4 of them? I don't know. Our team's answer is pass.
That goes over to Research Triangle.
Our team's answer is pass.
Luke. We were seeking Luke. Now, back to do arts and lit with East Chapel Hill. What title character and socialite has an affair with Count Vronsky? It was Leo Tolstoy's first novel.
Team's answer is Anna Karenina.
That is correct and correctly pronunciated. Thank you. And last, arts and lit for East Chapel Hill. Haydn Symphony No. 92 gets its nickname from what English university that awarded him a Doctor of Music degree?
I think it's Oxford. Our team's answer is Oxford.
Oxford is the right institution. Now, let's do arts and lit with Research Triangle. Leonardo da Vinci depicts Jesus at the Jordan River along with John, namesake of what ritual purification event?
Our team's answer is baptism.
Baptism is right, John. You got it there. Question 2 in arts and lit. Who says this character seems bigger because of his bounces? Who is this character with his own theme song in the Disney films?
Our team's answer is Tigger.
Tigger is right. I smile as I ask Disney questions. And last arts and lit for Research Triangle, Peter Davies' 8th and Ralph Vaughan Williams' 7th symphonies are both titled for what region surrounded completely by the Southern Ocean?
Our team's answer is pass.
Over to East Chapel Hill. Need something, you guys.
Pass.
Right about the sun is Antarctica is the answer we seek there. All right, players, we made it to our next break now, and it's a big one. Because we come back, it's name game, crunching numbers, and rocket science. Brain Game will be right back, everyone. Welcome back to the Brain Game Playoffs, everyone. After that second round of play, we have East Chapel Hill on the board with 240, Research Triangle in there with 140, just 18 questions until we get to the finals. In Name Game today, we're looking for names that mean something, meaning these names are evolved from occupations, a common practice back when surnames were used based on a person's trade, helping communities identify professions like bakers or tailors, or the answers to all of these questions. So let's start. Names from occupations, name game with East Chapel Hill. This name describes a person who makes barrels. Actor Bradley, journalist Anderson, and rocker Alice all share this last name. That is loaded with clues.
Our team's answer is Cooper.
Cooper is correct. Question 2 for East Chapel Hill. Black, gun, and silver could precede this job title. Bearers of it today include actor Will, Dr. Matt, and sports writer Stephen A.
Yeah. Our team's answer is Smith.
Smith is right. And last question in this category for East Chapel Hill. Someone who works with brick or stone has this title. People with this name include founding father George, place kicker Crosby, and lawyer Perry.
Our team's answer is Mason.
Mason is correct. All right, now names from occupations with Research Triangle. This name could follow ship or play and is shared by actor Jeffrey, architect Frank Lloyd, and two flying brothers.
Our team's answer is right.
Right is right. You're right. Right. Question 2 in Name Game for Research Triangle. He's the head of a monastery, but also the namesake of a TV elementary school, Costello's comic partner, and the governor of Texas.
Our team's answer is pass.
Over to East Chapel Hill.
Our team's answer is Abbott.
Abbott is correct. And last question in this category for Research Triangle. A person who makes flour from grain has this name. So does comic book artist Frank, band leader Glenn, and basketballer Reggie.
Our team's answer is Miller.
Miller is correct. Well, interesting name game today. Of course, I looked it up. My last name, Roberts, comes from the old German elements Hrad, meaning fame, and Barat, meaning bright, translating to bright fame. But interesting. By players, that's enough self-centered material there. Let's play crunching numbers now. Pencils and scratch papers at the ready. You now have twice as much time to answer your questions. If you are still stumped, you can always pass to the other team, so everyone should be working toward an answer. We begin this particular crunching numbers with East Chapel Hill. What is the smallest solution to the equation? The absolute value of x minus 3 equals 9.
Our team's answer is -6.
That's right. Question 2 in crunching numbers for East Chapel Hill. On the interval from 0 to pi, what value is not in the domain of the function tangent of x?
Our team's answer is 0.
That is incorrect. Research Triangle. Need something, you guys. Anything over there?
Our team's answer is pi over 2.
That is correct. And we're rounding out now crunching numbers with East Chapel Hill. I'm not praising your appearance. I'm stating what name given to the set that contains all of the elements not given in a set.
Complement, you said? Yeah. Our team's answer is complement.
Complement is correct. All right, now we're crunching numerically with Research Triangle. Calculate the solution to the equation. X minus the square root of x minus 12 equals 0. Need something over there, Research Triangle. Anything?
Oh, our team's answer is 16.
16 is right. Question 2 in crunching numbers for Research Triangle. What real number is equal to the product of 5 plus 3i times 5 minus 3i? Need something over there, Research Triangle. Anything?
Our team's answer is 34.
34 is right. And last crunching numbers for Research Triangle. What conic section is defined as all points equidistant from a given point, called the focus, and a given line called the directrix?
Our team's answer is pass.
That goes over to East Chapel Hill if you want to try.
Our team's answer is parabola.
That is the right answer. All right, we've made it through crunching numbers, everyone. Good job on both teams. Now we're blasting off to rocket science. Only 6 questions remain before the final round, and one of these teams will advance in the playoffs. We start with East Chapel Hill and a visual clue. They have white flowers too, but most of the focus is on the leaves of what carnivorous plant native to the Carolinas?
Our team's answer is a Venus flytrap.
That's right. Question 2 for, again, for East Chapel Hill. The element tellurium is named for the Earth. What member of its family is named for the Moon? It has atomic number 34 and symbol Se.
Our team's answer is selenium.
That is right. And last question in this area for East Chapel Hill. You could blow on its cartridges to help fix them. What is this 1980s gaming console that introduced Mario and Zelda?
Our team's answer is the NES.
That's right. Yeah, Nintendo Entertainment Systems, NES. You are right. Nintendo's an old word, isn't it? All right. Now, rocket science with Research Triangle. The iron filings in this picture line up in paths that represent what region in which the magnetic force acts. This term was coined by Faraday in 1846.
Our team's answer is the electromagnetic field.
That is correct. Question 2 in rocket science for Research Triangle. Capacitance adds up, but resistances are added by inverse in what circuits that have split paths?
Our team's answer is pass.
That goes to East Chapel Hill.
Our team's answer is parallel.
Parallel's right. And last rocket science for Research Triangle. Bayou, marsh, and swamp are 3 types of what semi-aquatic ecosystems? Need something over there, you guys.
Our team's answer is estuary.
That is incorrect. East Chapel Hill.
Wetland. Our team's answer is wetland.
Wetland, the answer the judges were seeking. All right. Great job, players. It's now down to globetrotting, where today we're testing your knowledge on African flags. We'll have the game's final question when Brain Game returns, everyone. Welcome back to Brain Game, everyone. We hope you're playing along on your TV or your favorite device. If you want more information about the smartest 30 minutes on television, go to WRAL.com and type the search words Brain Game for the season schedule, final scores, and to watch past episodes. This episode ended with East Chapel Hill at 460 points and Research Triangle at 240 points. Up to 200 points are now on the table, coming down to our game's all-important final question. Each team determined how much to risk on globetrotting during the commercial break. Teams, here is your final question. In February, there were negotiations over whether this flag should be raised over the Chagos Islands. To what nation, former home of the dodo, does this flag belong? Stay tuned. The final answer and the final scores when Brain Game returns. Welcome back to Brain Game, everyone. The teams are locked in with their answers to today's final question, which is, in February, there were negotiations over whether this flag should be raised over the Chagos Islands. To what nation, former home of the dodo, does this flag belong? Let's go to our teams now. Research Triangle, please tell us your answer.
Our team's answer is Galapagos.
That was incorrect. You risked the full 200 points. That brings your game total to 40. Research Triangle did a good job out there today, everyone. Now, it comes down to East Chapel Hill. Please tell us your answer.
Our team's answer is Mauritius.
That is correct. You risked 0 points, bringing your game total to 460. So with that final score of 460, East Chapel Hill is today's Brain Game winner. Way to go, you guys. All right. Congratulations to East Chapel Hill. Please join us next week when Pinecrest takes on Green Hope. Thank you so much for watching Brain Game, the smartest 30 minutes on TV, everyone.